All right, let's dive into one of the most important, but maybe one of the most overlooked skills out there in the professional world, corporate communication. We're going to build your essential toolkit right here, right now, to help you handle pretty much any workplace conversation with total confidence.
You've been there, right? You send an email that you think is crystal clear, and it just lands completely wrong. Or maybe you walk out of a meeting thinking, were we all listening to the same conversation? It's such a common frustration. But what if the fix wasn't about trying to be more extroverted or changing who you are? What if it was way simpler?
So many of us think that amazing communicators are just born that way. That it's all about natural charisma. But that's a total myth. The reality is, effective communication is a skill. And just like any other skill, you can learn it, you can practice it, and you can get really, really good at it. It just comes down to having the right tools for the right job.
So today, we're going to do just that. We're going to pop open this metaphorical toolkit. We'll take a look at each tool one by one, figure out how it works, and know exactly when to pull it out to build better relationships and, honestly, get better results at work.
First up, the absolute foundation of our entire toolkit. These are the speaking and listening tools. These are the fundamentals that every other communication skill is built on top of. If this foundation is shaky, everything else just kind of falls apart.
The first tool is, of course, verbal communication. And yeah, this seems super obvious, right? It's the words we say. But it is so much more than that. It's about choosing your words carefully, and this is the key part, delivering them with the right tone. Think about it. The phrase, "that's a great idea," can be a genuine, enthusiastic compliment, or it can be dripping with sarcasm. It's all in the tone. Here's a quick tip. Next time you have to give some tricky feedback, try consciously lowering your voice just a little. It tends to come across as more thoughtful and a lot less aggressive.
Okay, next in the kit is a real superpower, good questioning. This isn't just about trying to get an answer. It's about asking the kind of questions that actually spark a real conversation, that encourage people to open up, instead of just giving you a one-word reply.
Now look at this. This shows you exactly what I mean. A tiny change in how you phrase something can have a massive impact. Asking, "Is the report done?" Well, that gets you a simple yes or no. The conversation's over. But asking, "What's the current status of the report?" Now you get the details, the context, maybe even a heads up about a problem. See the difference? One shuts the door, the other one opens it right up.
And of course, you can't talk about speaking without talking about its other half, listening. But I'm not talking about just passively hearing, where the words just kind of wash over you while you're secretly planning what you're going to say next. I'm talking about active listening. That's a real conscious effort to understand the entire message, the words, the feelings, the whole shebang.
And here's the great news. It breaks down into 3 pretty simple steps. First, pay full attention. That means phone down, laptop closed. Just focus. Second, show you're listening. Nod your head, make eye contact, those little signals that say, "I'm with you." And third, provide feedback. Just repeat back what you heard in your own words. Something like, "Okay, so what I'm hearing is," it confirms you're on the same page, and honestly, it makes the other person feel incredibly valued.
So, we've talked about what you say and how you listen, but what about all the messages you're sending when you're not even talking? Let's get into the unspoken tools in our kit. Nonverbal communication is, well, it's everything else. It's your posture, your facial expressions, how you gesture. Some studies say this stuff makes up a massive chunk of how your message actually lands. It's all about making sure your words and your body are telling the same story. Because if you say, "I'm confident about this plan," but you're slumped in your chair and avoiding eye contact, which message do you think people are going to believe? They'll believe your body, every single time.
Here are just a few common examples. Now, a little disclaimer. Context is king, right? Someone crossing their arms might just be cold, but being aware of these signals, both in yourself and in others, gives you a huge advantage. Like, if you notice a coworker leaning in while you're sharing an idea, that's a fantastic sign they're engaged. See them fidgeting? Maybe it's a good time to pause and ask a question. It's like a secret language that everyone's speaking, but not everyone's reading.
Okay, we've got our foundational tools ready to go. Now, let's talk about how to actually use them in the arena, in those key, sometimes high-pressure situations we all find ourselves in at work.
This is so important. Not all communication situations are created equal. In a team meeting, your goal is usually collaboration, right? So active listening and asking great questions, those are your power tools. But when you're giving a presentation, the goal is totally different. You're trying to inform or persuade. So that's when skills like verbal clarity, good pacing, and confident body language really become the stars of the show. It's all about picking the right tool for the job.
And this is true for other formats too. When you're writing an email or a report, you have no body language or tone of voice to back you up, so your words have to be incredibly clear and to the point. And on a phone call, where you can't see anyone, your tone of voice has to do all the heavy lifting, and your listening skills are even more critical to catch those little nuances. So we've unboxed the whole toolkit. But, just like with any craft, simply having the tools isn't enough. Real mastery comes from practice. It comes from sharpening those skills, day in and day out.
Let this one sink in for a second. You can have the most brilliant ideas in the world, but if you can't share them effectively, they just lose their power. Your ability to connect with people, to persuade them, to collaborate with them, that is the ultimate career booster. It's not a piece of software, it's a human skill.
So, as we wrap things up, I'll leave you with this question. Think about your own communication style right now. Where's our opportunity? Will you focus on asking more open-ended questions this week? Maybe practice truly active listening in your next meeting, or just become more aware of your posture. Pick one tool, just one, and start sharpening it today. Trust me, your career will thank you for it. Thanks for watching.